You are the one responsible for enforcing rules here. The rule requires that I am referred to as honorable member. I don't know where to appeal. But the procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, there is a practice, and I invite you to guide me as a way of procedure. You have reported on progress made in Namboole. Our rules protects you. We can't ask you questions and quarrel with you. You have said another commissioner will come here and also report. I don't know whether, Madam Speaker, because of the resonance and shabbiness of government, that the Parliamentary Commission now has taken over the work of government. Because I don't know how I'll ask my speaker to explain things I want to explain about Namboole, or I'll ask a commissioner. The other day, we had the deputy speaker assigned to go and visit the war. I also had issues. So the procedural issue I'm raising, Madam Speaker, is whether, because of your knowledge that this government has nearly collapsed, that you have now taken over and we should no longer ask questions, for example, about Namboole facility to relevant ministers. We now direct them to the Parliamentary Commission.
Mission, not on the issue of the progress. And the commissioners of parliament are your members. There is no problem of you asking a commissioner of parliament. They are actually supposed to work for you and give you information on what is happening for us to be able to check government. So let's get a report from the commissioner on what happened. Where we have an issue, then we can be able to ask the minister to respond to it. Yes, Jonah?
I would like to first and foremost thank you for adding your voice and commitment to the issue of the pending stadiums to be constructed outside Kampala, specifically Kibwa, Hoima, and Buhinga. I think by adding your voice, like we saw with Namboole, we have hope that in the budgeting process, we shall move funds from we shall provide funds, because as it stands, the committee reported that funding for Kibwa and Buhinga are unfunded priority. And during budget, I would be happy to see that they are provided for. But the procedural matter I want to raise, Right Honorable Speaker, is that when we raised the issue of Namboole, our concerns were specifically in the immediate, the ability for this country to host the next schedule of games in June, I think June 3rd and 10th, against Botswana and Algeria. And CAF had indicated that those next rounds of games would not be hosted because of the stadium is not ready. I have read through the rules, the regulations of 2022, which is called CAF Stadium Regulations 2022. And in Article 4, on the approvals, any request by the host nation for the stadium to host the games must go at least 75 days prior to the match day. June 3rd is about 35 days away from now. And that means the next schedule of games would not be hosted here. And you remember, Madam Speaker, you had also indicated that the country that had offered to host us, which is Morocco, one of our opponents in Algeria had registered an objection. The procedural matter that I now want to raise from you is, one, for the minister responsible to come and confirm to us where we shall host specifically the next schedule of games on 3rd and 10th, which is our home games. Where are we going to play those games? Then secondly, you had already, Madam Speaker, directed that the Auditor General does a forensic audit on Namboole. But from your communication today, and also I followed on TV, you appear to be satisfied with the progress of works.
Before you finish, I was very categorical that we have given you 80 million, added 17 billion. We are impressed with the work you're doing. You still bring in variations. However, I am going to ask for a forensic audit. I can replay it on TV because it was recorded. Whoever, I don't know who could have heard it. Yes, Edie. I said I'm going to ask for a forensic audit on how this money has been used. You're going to finish.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for having given me this opportunity to give information on what you exactly mentioned during your oversight. Right, Honourable Speaker, it is our mandate as members of Parliament to carry out oversight, not necessarily as a pleasure, but as a requirement. Honourable Speaker, the statements that you used, you were satisfied to a certain extent, but there was still some work that was supposed to be done. And this was actually played. But Honourable Speaker, I'm giving information which information can either be denied or taken. Right, Honourable Speaker, I want to inform this House that I had a privilege to have watched you when you were inspecting the stadium. I watched on TV, and the words that you used was that one of the statements that you mentioned was that you are going to ask for a forensic audit to make sure that...
Thank you. Anyway, Jonathan, the former minister, is that he initiated and ensured that Namboole was fenced off. I'm so want to thank you so much that the fencing was done. That is number one. Even chased away with your doctor. Number two, he made sure that we got a land title in the name of Namboole to a tune of 128 acres. How many acres? 128 acres. That's one thing. That's one achievement that we have as a country. You can continue.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, and proper person for that ministry at that time until the appointing authority sent him elsewhere. I want to conclude, Madam Speaker. I welcome your directive on the forensic audit. I have also reservations.
But you have answered the question. You should be able to answer his question. I don't know where the minister is. Because, where is it? Sports. I want the Minister of Sports.
Yeah.
Don't disturb the old man. I want the Minister of Sports. Because he's
made by the minister. I want the video to be played if you allow. But I want to conclude that the issue raised by Honorable Semuju, I had the same about the role of our commissioners, that our own. We have a committee in this House of Education and Sports, and most of the work oversight has defined made by these committees. By sending our commissioners to go and monitor and come and report, some of the commissioners themselves, like my brother, the Honorable Solomon Silwanyi, and the 3 others who even sat in the commission and awarded themselves money and have refused to come and explain the 500 million, the 400, we have repeatedly been asking them to explain, and they refused. So for such commissioners now to come and purport that they are now going to represent the House in asking questions and accountabilities, yet they have failed to do their duty of reporting to this House how they awarded themselves that money.
Honorable,
Madam Speaker, I think this is a serious question, and the role of this House should not be relegated to the commissioners in their individual acting capacity. Otherwise, it makes Parliament
Honorable
look very
Member,
relegated.
Honorable Member, I asked a commissioner as one of, just like I would ask you, that go to Namboole and bring a report. But you are conflicted because you are the one who raised the matter. You raised the matter, and first of all, Honorable Dur, you must thank yourself, you and Nambeshe, Honorable Nambeshe, because this thing is being resolved because of you people. You still have a long time. You're going to talk about the Majanranda. The issue of Namboole is a sorted issue. Let me hear from Lope. Honorable members, I have an answered question of Honorable Dur, and I'm happy the Minister of Sports is here. Let's first get, before it disappears. No. Honorable Minister, there was a question from Honorable Dur. Honorable Dur, can you repeat your question?
Right Honorable Speaker, my question, Regulations 2022 require that the host federation writes to request an inspection of a stadium not less than 75 days from match day. That is in Article 4 of the CAF Regulations 2022. Our next schedule of home games are due on the 3rd and 10th of June, less than 40 days. So the question I was asking is for the Honorable Minister to confirm where, in which foreign country shall Uganda host its home games, given that Morocco, that had offered us a free venue, has received objections from one of the teams we are going to play against. The second set of the question was that the minister responsible for sports and I had disagreed on the statements he made when in Lira. And I was seeking your permission, that you grant me permission to bring evidence to this House so that we watch what the minister said, and thereafter, as we had promised, either him or I would honor the gentleman agreement that we made on this floor of Parliament. I thank you.
First of all,
thank you. Because I'm on a record in the Committee of Budget stopping money for Namboole at that time. But I want the minister to come out clearly to tell this House and to go on record whether in Namboole you are doing renovation or facelift. You should tell this House, because people might be impressed by what they are saying.
we have a report.
At the 80 billion. So inform this Parliament whether you are having renovation or there's a facelift at Namboole. Thank you.
We have a report by to that effect.
Honorable Speaker, yesterday when you were in Namboole, questions that came out from your interaction related to compensation. And there is a gentleman called Fred Kakoza who is in my law firm claiming that actually a couple of people around have never been compensated. And that in itself also offends the CAF regulations regarding construction of stadia. That is an allegation out there, Minister, that you need to pay attention to and provide some clarification on the status of compensation around Namboole. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, first of all, I would like to begin by thanking you for coming to check on the progress of the renovations of Namboole. They've been expecting, I received formally the letter of the Leader of Opposition, and I was in Namboole waiting to receive the Right Honourable Leader of Opposition with you yesterday. But I want to thank you, and Honourable Mathias Mpuga, Honourable Geoffrey Kanya, and other colleagues who came to check on the progress of the work so far done. I also want to confirm, as per last evening, the management of Namboole informed me that they had received the balance of the 17.7 billion which we have been awaiting for the last 6 months. So, Madam Speaker and the Honourable House, I want to thank you for the commitment we have all put in to ensure that the Ministry of Finance releases that money. To now answer the questions I still want to go on record that through the Ministry of Education and Sports, we are the ones who facilitated the CAF inspectors to come and carry out inspection. Why? We are aware that the contractor has gone to the last phase of the renovation of the project. I want to thank them for identifying some of the areas which, as the minister and as a client, we are working towards addressing those specific issues identified for purpose of us completing the works and the renovation of phase 1 of the project. To be specific to Honorable Seungu, is it renovation or what? Or facelift? I confirm what we signed as a client with the Minister of Defense is the renovation of Namboole. No problem. Thank you. I still want to go on record that through the Ministry of Education and Sports, we are the ones who facilitated the CAF inspectors to come and carry out inspection. Why? We are aware that the contractor has gone to the last phase of the renovation of the project. I want to thank them for identifying some of the areas which, as the minister and as a client, we are working towards addressing those specific issues identified for purpose of us completing the works and the renovation of phase 1 of the project. To be specific to Honorable Seungu, is it renovation or what? Or facelift? I confirm what we signed as a client with the Minister of Defense is the renovation of Namboole. No problem.
Thank you very well. Could you help this parliament get all certificates of completion that took place under the renovation by your company contractor known as UPDF, as per the law of Uganda? Thank you.
I am aware once the project is completed, I would actually implore you, like you did direct, even if you need a forensic, even if you need a committee, we are welcome. Because as far as we are concerned, these are public funds. So, Honorable Seungu, I want to confirm, can you permit me with permission of this August House that the work gets finished and we open up for scrutiny for purpose of seeing what this UPDF has done in Namboole, because there's nothing to hide. Number 2 and the last one. First, if I answer, I want to begin with Honorable Dur. It is true, as far as CAF guidelines are concerned, they have specific guidelines on how they communicate to the respective federations for us to honor which area the game has to be played. To them, they came, carried out inspection, and they have given us their findings. To me, who is a client and the responsible ministry, mine is to work on those issues. I am also going to write an appeal which I want to thank in a special way the Right Honourable Speaker for personally getting involved, trying even to get the consent of the CAF president in person, and also making sure that each the president speaks to the CAF people for purposes of us making sure that trying to appeal to them to come back and carry out another inspection so that we can be able to play the game in Namboole. So for the decision of us saying that as far as where is the country going to play the next game, for me, I want to say mine is to concentrate at a certain level that we work on those impediments which had been identified to be corrected within the 2 weeks. If they agree to our proposal to ask them to come and carry out inspection, we will be most obliged. If they don't agree to that, then I'll come back to this August House and give a communication and have to work with the Federation of Uganda Football Association. It's not government who determines where the team must go. I want to remind this August House, you appropriated money for government to support the national teams of football. By the way, it is, even if it's playing outside Uganda, it's the government money which facilitates the team to go and play. The last question, most obliged, my
Speaker, and I want to thank the Honorable Gwang for giving way. Maybe in the future, as I raise the clarification, you should get use of UPDF who are here, because they do nothing apart from sitting. Since they are the ones constructing in the future, they should be of help, as you were able to explain.
You're saying what?
I have already said it, Madam Speaker.
They are doing nothing here. That's not engineering brigade.
They represent UPDF here. UPDF is the
There
one
is an
constructing.
order from Afande. Please.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Is it in order for a member to display his ignorance of the difference between a member of parliament and a company of UPDF that contracted to construct the stadium?
The
Is it in
engineering
order?
brigade. That was an order. You know, we are all in a learning process. Actually, I didn't even know that you're not a member of engineering brigade. So we are all in a learning process. She's a member of parliament. There is an engineering brigade. There is an engineering brigade.
Madam Speaker, the clarification I am seeking.
Honorable members, you're here laboring. When you have a member of football, who should give you a better information? You're very lucky that my husband is here to give you information.
Can I complete the information I am seeking before your husband gives information? Madam Speaker, the Honorable Ogwang has stood here before, more than a year ago. I know, by NRM standards maybe, but he said this stadium will be ready to host matches that we played in Algeria and other countries long ago. Now the same Honorable Gwang is saying matters of where we play football is not his business. His business is superintend on UPDF to complete the facility. Can I ask, Madam Speaker, the clarification from him, whether this Ogwang I see here was the same Ogwang that gave this Honorable Ogwang? I am sorry. And he knows I don't mean bad. Whether this same Honorable Ogwang who told us the facility will be ready a year ago, is the same Ogwang that he wants us to thank Honorable Ogwang. You know, I am used to him as a friend. You will excuse me. Whether it's the same Honorable Ogwang now saying, no, the where football will be played from is not my business. Is he the same minister that said this facility will be ready a year ago and it's not ready? And now he's saying where we play football from as a minister of government, it is not his business. It's a clarification.
Madam Speaker, first of all, I don't want you to add words into my mouth, because you can go back the answer which I said. I want to say the following. We are the ones who invited the CAF. CAF has sent a report to us through the Federation. By the way, I'm happy the President is here. He sent me the CAF report. We read it, and we are beginning to work on the issues CAF report identified as a client and a contractor. To be honest, we are trying our level best to make sure that we address those issues for purposes of us having the game being played at home. I have told you as Parliament that the Speaker has tried even to get in touch with the President to also talk to the CAF President. That's why the same FUFA President, who is a colleague here, also brought that as a second option for us to make sure that we address some of the issues raised, to make sure we appeal for whatever decisions which were picked, issues which were picked, for us to have the game at home. But nevertheless, I have said, in an event they don't agree to what appeals were giving, it's on record, it's government which facilitates the national team called the Cranes to play a game outside home because of the challenges of the renovations of the stadium. True, I made a statement. It is true, I'm the minister responsible for sports. I make that statement in line with the plans which have been laid out for purpose of completion of the stadium. But you've seen a delay which was caused by failing to release the balance of the money for the last 6 months. Is that Ogwang's problem? There was another problem which actually made us have a problem to cause another delay. The Minister of Works, first of all, Honorable Semuju, that's his new constituency. That stadium is a plan of 1972. For the record, the Chinese built that stadium, gave us as a grant. Getting the drawings of that stadium, it was a hassle. We had to, fortunately, Ramson is here. Do you know one officer was refusing to avail the drawings of that stadium for purposes of wanting government to pay him money? So these are some of the issues which are coming up, which have made the delays of the renovation of the stadium, not the contractor. The contractor was on site, ready to do the work. But the challenge has been some of the impediment. The last one is to address the question which my brother, Honorable Dur, raised. Honorable Dur, for your own information, I did tell the people of Lango that I handed them first the contractor. The contractor agreed with me. They were sending a second technical team to go back to Lira to carry out what they call topographical survey, which I want to confirm. They have done it. When did they go within Lango there, within Akiba Stadium? It was done within a period of the 1 week after our visit. I do not know if the contractor has to go there. They have to publicly make it that have gone back to Akibwa to begin doing his technical work. That's not for Guam. So I want to request, Madam Speaker, that for purposes of Akibwa, and I really want to appeal to my colleagues from Lango, government under the leadership of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is going to construct Akibwa Olympic Stadium. And that has been the long-awaited pledge for the people of Lango. It's on the hands of the government, and I'm working with the contractor to ensure that Akibwa Olympic Stadium is built. I thank you.
Honorable members, let's finish so that we go to the next item.
Right, Honorable Speaker, 2 points of clarification. The first one, under Article 3 of the regulations of CAF, there are 2 inspection regimes available. The first one is the member association, in this case FOFA, can do a pre-inspection report and report to them, and if they are satisfied, the stadium can be approved. So I want to know from you whether you have already invited the FUFA to do the pre-inspection report before you even think about it. No, yes, you will. You will. That's the first one. That's the first one. The second clarification, I don't like us going back and forth. And I'd ask that, if possible, I would play the evidence of whatever you said in there. It seems that your memory has missed something. You did say.
Honorable members, the fact is, Akiba is going to be constructed. Whatever who said where, it is already in the budget. The money is in the budget, it's going to be constructed.
I want to answer a technical question which he asked. As of now, I am aware of that as far as the CAF guidelines are concerned, and we are working to address the issues which they raise before we communicate to FUFA, to ask them, to invite a technical person employed by them, trained by CAF to carry out an inspection. What would it add value to me that have received money last evening? And I go ahead and invite the same person to come and carry out inspection when I have not addressed these challenges which have been identified? Can you help me? Give me a week or two. I finish doing on the work, issues that I raised. Then I now formally invite that person to come and carry out the inspection, communicate to the head office, while as government, we also use other procedures of trying to appeal to them to have the stadium inspected and accepted for purpose of us playing a game here. All I want to request to your colleagues, friends, it is to all our best interest that the game is played at home. And we all want that to happen. What I ask you, stand with me for all of us to do whatever it takes for us to have the UPDF Engineering Brigade now do whatever it takes to ensure whatever issues which were raised are addressed for us to have the game played at home. And that's what I want to call upon us. Sports unites all of us. And that is the purpose of sports in the world. I thank
there is, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, colleagues. I rise on your communication from the chair regarding traders, which has...
Can we finish football?
Football.
Let's finish sports, then we come there. Can I first hear from the FUFA president?
I would like to take this opportunity to provide information for the benefit of the discussion going on. First of all, to thank all the colleagues for the support you have given us as the sector. But most importantly, Honorable Dul has raised an issue of regulations, and these are articles and regulations as how CAF operates. And I want to confirm to this House that he is correct, that CAF has a minimum number of days when they are supposed to communicate where the games are going to be hosted. However, it is also true that CAF Executive Committee has the powers to override some of those provisions, and we have gone for this provision, engaged the CAF, because the way CAF operates is that they inspect the stadium according to the current status. And when they were here, the truth is that we could not have a match in the stadium because of the uncompleted works. The uncompleted works, if you go to Namboole today and you take a selfie, it looks good. But for a football match to be played, there are certain technical issues that must be accomplished. For example, even the substitute benches have not been put. So it could be good, looking everything very well, but until it is put and the inspector ticks the box that a match can take place at that moment. So when CAF was here, the inspection they did, it was not practical that a football match could take place. Our appeal to CAF is that they exercise the executive powers of CAF such that they can allow us to be able to complete the works as the Honorable Minister has explained, and then do the inspection again so that we could have a chance to host our games at home. CAF operates in such a way that you must enter and it is a computer system where you are going to host the games from. And that is supposed to be done 75 days before the match, which we did not do as a federation because Mandela National Stadium was not active in the system to be picked because it had not yet been approved. And according to practice at CAF, they automatically, if you don't mention where you are going to host the games, they mention it for you. And in this case, the last place we played our games is Morocco. I would not be surprised if CAF came out and fixed our games. That is in case they do not accept us to be able to be inspected and to pass the stadium that would be hosting our games automatically in Morocco come June. Right, Honourable Speaker and colleagues, allow me to use a few minutes to explain the smaller picture and the bigger picture. Thank you very much, Fufa President. Consults you. Because you've said they called the inspectors, well knowing that work was incomplete. Now, they are all over the planet. His Excellency must be involved, his family, to call CAF. Do they consult you such that we don't make the same mistakes of inviting inspectors before the work?
Further clarify on that, we recently saw the completion of Nachivugo Stadium, and we celebrated as Ugandans to say that we have another facility where such matches can be hosted. My question is, when Nachivugo was being constructed, was there technical advice to the extent that we can host a match that magnitude?
Submission which I was seeking was the smaller picture and the bigger picture. And in that explanation, it will cover the questions that are being raised. First and foremost, the way the civil engineering projects are structured is that there is a client, there is a contractor, there is a consultant. In this case, the Ministry of Defense is the contractor and the Ministry of Works is the consultant. And the challenge we have is that the consultant should have the expertise to advise the contractor to do the right things. And I'm on record, and I want to go on record again, that to construct a stadium is a specialized type of engineering that requires expertise. And if you don't have this expertise, you should hire the people who have the expertise, and this is common practice. There is no one who has expertise in as far as stadium construction is concerned in this country better than the federation and therefore CAF, because the CAF and FIFA work through federations. The way these projects are designed, the way these projects have been executed as if they are the usual civil engineering projects. We have made an appeal that for construction of stadiums as a federation, we get involved right from the beginning to advise, to be able to not make the mistakes that have been made. Even Mandela National Stadium is looking good. In the remaining days, the money committed can make us be able to play at home, but there were still mistakes done simply because of the lack of the expertise of the consultants, because the contractors basically follow what the consultants design and eventually advise. I would therefore like to appeal to this August House that such projects that are specialized, and we are the people that CAF works through, as we have seen the inspection is done by us first and then eventually done by CAF. It will only be proper because there is a lot of construction of stadiums that is going on by private sector and also by government. That it becomes a practice that we are involved as a federation to advise such that we do not get some of the challenges. To be specific about Nachivugo, we were not consulted, and the CAF has done an inspection, and it has a report about the stadium, and as we speak today, we can still not be able to host an international game there until certain things are done in accordance with the standards. I beg to move.
Thank you.
I would like to thank the President of the Federation, let me call him Honorable Moses Magogo Salongo, for the information he has given. But there are certain things which I'll be forced to go on record, because he's my brother, and I'm happy he has raised certain things as far as the consultations are concerned. And I want us to listen to each other, because I must answer the statement he has made as a Minister of Sports. Number one, the entire renovation of Namboole, we have been working with the Federation. Yes. I'm first beginning with specifically Namboole. The Federation of Uganda Football Association. That's why I am saying I am here. Fortunately, he's here, I'm also here. Number two, please members, listen to me. Number two, why am I bringing this forward? I am aware that they have the expertise. That's true.
Honorable Minister, why I sent my advance team was on a fact finding, and we should be able to get that information from the report that is going to be presented. Let's get that, because I don't want you people to look ugly between yourselves. You look very ugly. So let's get it from let's get it from the report. Let's get it from the report. There was a question that was before we come to the issue of the traders. There was a question asked. There was a question asked by Honorable Teva Andeke. There was a question asked, Minister, why I sent my advance team was on a fact finding, and we should be able to get that information from the report that is going to be presented. Let's get that, because I don't want you people to look ugly between yourselves. You look very ugly. So let's get it from let's get it from the report. Let's get it from the report. There was a question that was before we come to the issue of the traders. There was a question asked. There was a question asked by Honorable Teva Andeke. There was a question on yes.
That the former president has told a very big lie. That's what the minister has said. And this matter remains on the handset. If the former president has told a lie, can he withdraw and apologize?
I am saying, let's hear.
First, for the record, honorable colleagues, my ministry works in constant touch with all federations through the National Council of Sports. Number two, on as far as the renovation of Namboole and other sports facilities are concerned, and I'm not again to challenge my brother engineer here. The good thing, I speak because I have facts. His office did facilitate a meeting between the Minister of Education and the Federation of Uganda Football Association. When as far as AFCON is concerned, we came up with a document, which document defines the roles of each party in as far as AFCON is concerned. So when we come here and we say we are not working together, I get beaten up. Number two, matters of construction are matters of advice from Attorney General, the role of a supervisor, a role of a consultant, the role of a client. I want to request Parliament, allow government to run its duty. We will continue to work with these federations as it has been the case. I thank you.
Honorable members, we have a law that we've just passed. Unfortunately, the minister has not brought the regulations. But secondly, in the law that we have, the federations, through National Council of Sports, with the National Council of Sports and Ministry of Works, are advisors to the projects that concern sports. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing. You're not doing them a favor. They're actually doing you a favor and working for these Ugandans. Let them be the advisors of what should be done. Is it a cost? Does it have a financial implication? It doesn't. So we should make sure that the federations advise on what should be done. Yes.
Madam Speaker, as a way of procedure, I want to advise.
Madam Speaker, I want to confirm they do advise. That's true. We work with them.
I am on the floor. Madam Speaker.
Bring me a letter which you have written to them and ask them that I want you to be the advisors of the project that is ongoing. Please lay the letter tomorrow.
Speaker, let me
Madam
first say.
Speaker, you had given me the floor. The Minister of Sports is grabbing it. The way of procedure, Madam Speaker, there is the legal and administrative issue of handling this matter. I want to request you, Madam Speaker, to ask the Honorable Peter Ogwang, the FUFA President, will take advantage of his presence here. Maybe with the help of the government whip, to go and sort out this matter and come cleaner like they are looking now. They can go and see what role can FUFA play, and then they return and tell Parliament that we have agreed as follows. Otherwise, they are bogging down work of Parliament, discussing details that are never discussed in Parliament, Madam Speaker. The way of procedure, Madam Speaker, there is the legal and administrative issue of handling this matter. I want to request you, Madam Speaker, to ask the Honorable Peter Ogwang, the FUFA President, will take advantage of his presence here. Maybe with the help of the government whip, to go and sort out this matter and come cleaner like they are looking now. They can go and see what role can FUFA play, and then they return and tell Parliament that we have agreed as follows. Otherwise, they are bogging down work of Parliament, discussing details that are never discussed in Parliament, Madam Speaker.
You passed the law in this House, and whatever is in the law must be implemented. That is one. Two, the advisors are advisors. I want evidence to that effect that you appointed, whom you appointed as advisor, a consultant, and so on. Two, I want you to have the scrap that is at Namboole, out of Namboole, using the legal mechanism. Can we have that scrap out of that place? Three, COSASE should thoroughly investigate ULC on how they got that sublease, how much money they got, where they declared it from. Okay? I'm talking to the Vice Chair of COSASE.
Most obliged, Madam Speaker.
And we need to know how much money has been collected, and even now, when the lease has expired, how much money Mandela National Stadium is demanding from Pioneer buses. Yes,
Later, the lease expired.
I
The
don't.
5 years which
I
had been
have,
given.
I have already made a ruling.
Number 2, Madam Speaker, I am going to lay on this table.
You come back and lay tomorrow.
But Madam Speaker, I want to say this because the documents I'm going to lay on table should be on record. Number 1, I have a document which I'm going to lay on table, my communication with the Federation. Number 2.
Appointing them?
Not appointing them.
Okay.
Because I don't have powers to appoint them to be the official what? The official supervisors of the works in Namboole. But I have a document which we sat in a meeting, in a retreat, which we agreed on the roles and responsibilities of each party, which we are working towards achieving.